welcome to ABC Interactive English. Hello everyone, I'm Mike.
Hello, I'm Rainbow.
And Rainbow and I are back here today with Ace and Ellie. Well, they're not here. They're busy doing their project.
They're building something today.
Using all the right tools for the jobs. That's right, they were shopping for tools in part A. They were using the tools in part B to basically just fix a few little things around their home. But yes, as Rainbow said, today, for our final day in part C, wow, they are really going to do something a little more challenging. They're going to build something.
It's a big project.
My gosh, when was the last time you built something with your own hands?
Oh my goodness, honestly, I would have to go back like probably 20 years.
20 years?
Oh my goodness.
When you were 1 year old.
Thank you very much. We are talking about a time in school when I helped to build something called a blanket fort. Have you ever heard of this? Because it's the most amazing thing ever.
This is when you take like cushions and pillows from your bed or chairs and put a blanket and make like a little house in your living room to play in?
Yeah, but this was in school.
In school?
In a school sleepover.
Oh, not part of your math class or something.
No. But it was also like a very long blanket for in the entire hallway.
Okay, interesting. Now, on day one, you talked about having someone from IKEA come and fix things in your home. Did you make those things when you first got them? Did you build your furniture?
No, IKEA built my furniture.
Even with all the paper and the pictures and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, did they show you how to do it? No?
I have built one standing hanger.
A hanger for clothes.
Yeah, it stands and it has wheels on it.
Right,
I have built that. It was very difficult.
Really?
I did not understand the instructions. So I went on YouTube and Googled a video.
I see.
And copied the person.
Interesting. So yes, you can always find someone online or pay someone to help you build things. But hey, if you can do it by yourself, or if you even like to do this kind of thing by yourself, that's even better.
Could be fun.
Let's find out what Ace and Ellie are building and if they are going to be successful. Ace and Ellie are building something together.
I finally finished measuring the chicken wire.
You also marked where we need to cut it, right?
Of course. I'll make short work of that with the pliers. However, I need you to do the boards.
I can do that. Where's the tape measure?
Hello and welcome back to part 3 of the right tool for the job. And today we're going to talk about building something together. Ace and Ellie are building something together. I wonder what that is. It sounds like it could be a little bit challenging.
Yeah, this is definitely a bigger project than just fixing things or hanging clocks in their home. Let's find out. Ace begins by saying, I finally finished measuring the chicken wire.
That's what they're doing.
This is the chicken wire, that sort of wire fence material that they bought at the hardware store in part A. We were wondering, are they going to make a little enclosure or a little pen for their chickens that they're going to raise in their backyard? I don't know what they're doing.
Organic chickens?
With chicken wire. So we'll have to find out. But first, yes, before you build anything, you should always measure the things you're using to build it with.
And measuring is to take numbers. So the verb to measure is by taking a ruler and measuring how how many centimeters or how many inches, how long something is, how wide it is, how heavy it is. Measuring involves different units. It's taking down a number that helps you to build something or know how long or wide or heavy something is. We often do measure when we build things because we need to have exactly how much material to make sure that it all comes together in the right way. So having the right measurements, that's a noun, is important, and you have to measure very accurately.
Absolutely right. We can measure things using lots of special tools. Clocks measure time, scales measure weight, temperature, thermometers, I should say, measure temperature. But here, yeah, they're probably using a ruler to measure how long this chicken wire or chicken fencing needs to be. Here's another good thing about measuring. If they always say if you're going to build something, measure twice, cut once.
Oh yeah,
so
good
you
idea.
Don't want to make a mistake measuring things and then realize later, oh, I measured it badly, but I've already cut it. Now I've wasted all that material.
Rule.
Measure twice, cut
once. Elise says, you also marked where we need to cut it, right? So not only do we have to measure, we want to mark exactly where to cut along the line so that it's absolutely accurate and we don't waste any wire. So that's really important that she checks with him on that.
Exactly. If you're cutting a piece of paper, you might measure it with a ruler and then just use a pencil to make a little mark. That's where you will start cutting, measuring twice. We should also remember. Of course, A says, of course I marked it after I measured it. I'll make short work of that with the pliers. All right, to make short work of something is basically saying it will be an easy job when I use this tool, these pliers. Pliers can be used to open things, but often they can also be used to cut things like wire, kind of like scissors, but we might use pliers to cut things that are stronger and tougher to cut. However, he says, I need you to do the boards. So remember, they bought some pieces of wood. They called them beams. Here they're calling them boards. Same idea. And you can imagine you'll have a few boards and the chicken wire will be attached to it. And that's the way you make a little fence, like where they will keep their chickens?
Oh, I guess so.
Anyways, they were talking about marking things. Now here, Mark is not a boy's name, which it could be. Of course, it's a common name for boys, but here we're using it as a verb. To mark something is basically to write on it or to put something on it that makes it easy to find or see or identify. If you're taking your clothes to school, you might put your name on the inside of it to mark that this is your shirt so it doesn't get mixed up with other shirts. If you're reading a book and you want to stop, you might turn down the page or put a piece of paper in it, and then when you come back to the book, you know where to begin again because you marked it. You put something that will make it easy to find the place or the thing that you are looking for.
Yep, and here's another tool that comes in handy a lot at home. These are called pliers. Pliers look like scissors. They have handles on them and they can be used to screw something, to shift something, to change the shape of something, to bend something. There's so many things you can do with pliers. You can even use them to cut wire. So that's a special tool that we use with wires, and often when people make something like jewelry, they have different sizes of this tool that looks like a scissor.
Yeah, yesterday we had wrenches that you use them to open things that are really, really tight. Pliers, instead of being like your hand, like a wrench, they're more like your fingertips.
It's like a clip.
But again, it gives you some extra strength so you can twist and turn and pull little things more easily. Here also we had, the word board. A board is a long cut piece of wood. So you take a tree and then you cut the tree into long pieces and then you cut those pieces into things that are probably quite long, not too wide, not too thick like that. And of course, we use boards to make many things. You can make a table, that's basically a big board on top of other long pieces of wood. You can make a floor using boards or a ceiling using boards. They're basically long, flat, cut pieces of wood that can be used to make all sorts of stuff.
And Ellie seems to be really good at doing that too. She says, I can do that. Where's the tape measure? Okay. So they're working together and it seems like they're doing a very good job. Now let's take a quick break and then we'll come right back to see how they're doing after that.
I left it on the workbench next to the level. You can't miss it.
Okay. Do you want me to start cutting them when I'm done?
No, I need to check the saw and make sure that it's still sharp.
No problem.
We are back and we're in the middle of the big construction project that Ace and Ellie are handling today. They're building something. We're not sure what, but we know it needs chicken wire. It needs boards, and we also know
beams.
These boards, these beams need to be very carefully measured. They can't be any size. They need to be a special size. That's why Ellie was looking for the tape measure. This is a very useful tool that you would probably have around your house. If you want to see how big something is, you don't just look at it and go, I think that's about 1.375 meters. You can't do that with your eyes, so you can use a tape measure. It will be a very, very good way of measuring how long or wide or tall or whatever something is. But Ace and Ellie are like me. I have 2 or 3 tape measures in my home and I can never find one when
so small.
I need it. And you use it and then you see how long it is and then you put it down and then you never think about it for another 2 months. But anyways, Ace is better than me. He remembers where the tape measure is. Maybe he just used it. He says, I left it on the workbench next to the level. Another useful tool. You can't miss it. So he left it on the workbench, I guess, in their garage.
And here to leave something means to drop it off, or here's the last time that I put it. And then I went away. So if I leave you here while I go shopping, that means I will be back. But then I'm just gonna let you be here for now and I'm going to walk away from something. To leave is to walk away from something. To set it down, you can leave someone, walk away. You can leave something to put it down in a different location. Okay, so Ellie says, okay, do you want me to start cutting them when I'm done? She's really ready. She's like, what can I do? I'm pretty good at it. Want some help?
There you go. She's got the wood. She has the tape measure. Once she sees the right size, she can go ahead and do the next thing, which would be to cut the wood off to make sure she doesn't have extra. But A says, no, that's okay. Just measure it. And he explains why she doesn't need to cut it right now. He says, I need to check the saw and make sure that it's still sharp.
Oh, yeah, because otherwise it wouldn't really cut nice wood.
It won't cut nicely. It will be difficult. It could actually be dangerous if the saw slips or something like that. And you won't get a nice clean cut at the top. It will be all kind of chewed up. So he can sharpen the saw, or some saws you can put in a brand new sharp blade. So yes, it's like a knife in a kitchen. You always want to use a sharp tool to make the job easier and safer.
Ellie trusts him. Ellie goes, no problem. You go and do your thing. I trust you.
All right, so then they'll get the sharpest saw they can find. She can start cutting up those boards, and pretty soon their project will be done. We don't know what they're building.
It's a mystery project.
It is. I still think it's their own personal
I think it's
chicken
organic
farm.
chicken farm.
Or maybe it's a garden and they put the chicken wire around it to stop little animals like squirrels from coming in and eating their flowers.
Organic herb farm.
Yeah,
good
you can
idea.
keep animals in or out
with
the chicken wire.
Makes
Anyways,
sense.
it's a mystery that we'll just have to leave you guys with because that's the end of our dialogue and the end of our look at the right tools. So always have the right tools for your job and always be sure to measure twice.
Important.
Cut once.
Cut once.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ace and Ellie are building something together.
I finally finished measuring the chicken wire.
You also marked where we need to cut it, right?
Of course. I'll make short work of that with the pliers. However, I need you to do the boards.
I can do that. Where's the tape measure?
I left it on the workbench next to the level. You can't miss it.
Okay. Do you want me to start cutting them when I'm done?
No, I need to check the saw and make sure that it's still sharp.
No problem.
Hi, I'm Tina. 我们来看这一课的重点单字。第一个 measure 动词测量丈量。Can you measure the length of the table? 你可以测量桌子的长度吗？下一个单字 mark 动词标记做记号。David used a highlighter to mark the important information in the book. David 用荧光笔标记书中的重要资讯。Highlighter 指的是荧光笔。下一个单字 board 名词板子。I need more boards to build the bookcase. 我需要更多板子来组装这个书柜。最后一个单字 leave 动词留下放下。它的三态是 leave, left. I left my keys at home. 我把钥匙忘在家里了。接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 finish 加 VING 完成结束某事。finish 之后的动词必须改为动名词。我们来看看这个例句。After I finished cleaning the house, my friends arrived. 我打扫完屋子后，我的朋友们来了。下一个文法 make short work of 加名词，轻松快速的完成。short 可以用 quick 或 light 来替代。注意这里的 work 是一个不可数名词。我们来看看这个例句。Ryan made short work of the repair to the car. Ryan 轻松快速地修好了车。最后一个文法 You can't miss it. 你一眼就看得到。Miss 在这里指未能注意，整句的意思是你不会没有注意到，表示你一眼就能找到。我们来看看这个例句。The bakery is right next to the bank. You can't miss it. 面包店就在银行旁边，你不会找不到的。以上就是这一课的重点单字跟文法，我们下一课再见，拜拜。
Hello everybody, today we are going to the Taitung Art Museum. Now, the Taitung Art Museum is a relatively new museum compared to some of the more famous museums in the world. So, when we think of a famous museum, probably one of the first ones that comes to mind is the Louvre, right, in Paris. How old do you think that is? 100 years? 50 years? 200 years? No, 800 years old. So it has got a lot more history there than we have at the Taitung Art Museum. But since it's a relatively new museum, we still have a chance to build it up by going there and visiting it. So let's take a look at what it has to offer. Taitung Art Museum is the first county art museum in Taiwan, and it was opened in 2007. There are two main exhibit halls in the art museum called Song of the Mountains and Dance of the Sea. The theme of this area is nature. Nearby are classrooms, restaurants, and rooms for resident artists. This building also has a very modern design. Visitors can see Taidung's beautiful scenery in the reflection of the building. The art park outside has a lot of landscape art, which is very beautiful. The museum is in central Taidung, and guess what? It's free to enter. It's a great place for people to go and relax. Wow, the Taitung Art Museum sounds like a really beautiful place to visit. The landscaping is very beautiful, and best, it is free to get in. The Louvre is not free. It actually costs quite a bit of money. Plus, you have to pay for airfare to get all the way to Paris. So don't waste your money. Let's just go to the Taitung Art Museum. I'll see you there. Bye-bye.